Hey, what's good everybody? It's your boy Krypts here. We're back with another video, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how you're going to multiply your damage and how to do more damage in Genshin Impact. As you saw on the clip prior to the introduction, I did do 150k damage with D-Luke, and that is because of the help of elemental reaction, artifacts, talents, all that sort of things. We're going to be discussing how you can multiply your damage and how to do more damage in Genshin Impact. So let's get right into it. So leveling up your talents is very important. As you can see during that clip on the video before, this is the talent level I had on my D-Luke, level 8 and a level 7. I'm trying to get this to level 9 to 10, but obviously it is going to be difficult to get this drop, as that is pure luck, and I actually don't have any books and more at the moment right now, as I am broke. So hopefully soon I can level up his talents, but for now this is the best I can get to him. Hopefully I can get Constellations as well, but it's also going to be very hard to get Constellations with D-Luke. So if you look on screen right now, I'll put up on the video, I'll put a picture up. My level 8 ultimate, the Dawn I guess it's called, is 326.4 slashing damage, 96 dot damage, explosion damage at 326 as well. So those are the numbers, and then you compare that to a level 1 ultimate, 204 to a 60 and another 204. So level 1 to level 8, that's a whole 102. Is that math? So 102% more. That is a huge difference, and those multipliers and percentages definitely will play a factor in your damage on your characters. So leveling up your talent is very important to do more damage with your characters. If you have low level talents, you're just not going to do the damage no matter how many artifacts, and even if they're level 90. If your talents are not leveled up, you won't do that much damage. So that's just the pity of it. Constellations are another factor of your damage. I always say in my prior videos that constellations are not very necessary. You can run all these characters 0 constellation and they can still do heavy damage, hefty damage, right? Big times multiplier. But obviously I gotta talk about constellation because it does actually help your damage a lot, because one, it levels up your talent, and leveling up your talent, you know, more damage obviously. And then obviously there's like factors where they do more damage, like this one for example, D-Luke deals 15% more damage to opponents with HP is above 50%. More damage here on Constellation 2, and obviously I would assume Constellation 6 would have more damage. Constellations are very important when it comes to damage, if you want to do more damage, right? But like I said, it's not very necessary at all, because you can still do big numbers without Constellations. So if you're always wondering if you need Constellations, in this game I feel like Constellation 0 works perfectly fine with 5 stars. Maybe for some 4 stars you might need Constellations for them to do more 5-star level kind of damage, but when it comes to 5 stars, they are 5 stars for a reason, and Constellations are really not necessary for them to do very good damage. So artifact is very important when it comes to doing more damage for your characters. It does plays a lot of factors in artifacts, you know, having the right set, getting the right stats, substats, all that sort, very important stuff. So with my D-Luke, I did change it prior to my old D-Luke build. I'll link the video down in the description section, so if you want to check that out you can. But right now I just want to show you what's very important. So I know a lot of people are going to be very mad. I do not have a good crit rate on D-Luke. I have a 6.6 plus to a 124 plus, so that equals to a 30% to 174. So 30% of the time I will be doing this hefty 174 crit damage percentage, right? So it's not really ideal. I really do want my crit rate to be higher. I am still fixing my D-Luke. It is not perfect. The best I can probably get him would be 40% crit rate, maybe 50 if I'm lucky, but 40% is not too bad for me, and I'd rather have that high crit damage in my opinion. You want to balance out your crit damage and crit rate obviously, but in the case of this video and all the damage sort, I want a high crit damage instead of a high crit rate, right? Generally speaking, you really do want good crit rate and good crit damage. I would say 60% crit rate is ideal, and then about 130 to 50 crit damage is ideal. It's really hard to get any higher than that. You gotta get really lucky with your artifacts obviously, so there's that. So when it comes to artifact, a lot of things factor in. So your set bonus definitely factors in a lot. So for example, with the Crimson Witch of Flames, I do a pyro damage bonus 15% with a 2-piece, and a 4-piece set increases overload and burning damage by 40%, and it increases vaporize and melt damage by 15%, right? So this definitely plays a factor in my damage. So if I run a different set, the damage I'm doing won't do as much as I just showed you in the beginning clip of the video. So what do you want in your artifacts? So obviously when it comes to substats, I always aim for crit rate, crit damage, and then I aim for attack percentage as my third option, because the reason for that is usually I'll have this attack percentage, and if I'm lucky I can get attack percentage, but I really want to get my crit rate and crit damage up. Obviously you do want attack percentage, you'll have this attack percentage here. Most likely that's the only attack percentage you'll have as your main stat, because usually circlets you want to run crit rate or crit damage, and your goblets will usually be your elemental damage bonus, so pyro, cryo, geo, etc. And then your sands will usually be your attack percentage, right? So that's your main stat. And obviously my sands right now, my D-Luke is not perfect. That is the fix I need. As soon as I get a good sands, my D-Luke will be doing insane damage. So hopefully we'll get that soon. Obviously with feather, attack is a little bit different. It's not base attack, if you understand what I'm saying. There's two different attacks. There's base attack and then there's like the normal attack, I guess. So base attack is really this number right here, 943, and then the 199 is what I say the other attack, I guess. So it's really hard to explain it, but that's really how it works. And then going back to artifacts, you really want to get your crit rate, crit damage up high, because your attack percentage might not be high. If you can get attack percentage with crit rate and crit damage, then that is definitely the perfect build. Obviously it's a little bit difficult, but if you can do that, then it's definitely worth it, and it's really important to have that crit up, right? So there's that. Now your weapons is also very important as well. As you can see, I am running the Wolf's Greystone, by far the best weapon for D-Luke and the best damage with D-Luke. The base attack is very high, it has attack percentage, so that definitely plays a factor in your DPS. But obviously you don't need the 5-star weapons to do good damage. You can run 4-star damage, there are plenty of them in the game, and you will still do a good amount of damage in my opinion. Like I said, weapons, very important to do. You gotta level up your weapons, because your weapons kind of do help you multiply your damage. So you want to level up your weapon as well. But like I said, 4-star weapons, there are plenty of them in the game. There's also those Black Cliff swords in the game, in the shop, Paimon's bargain shop. Those weapons as well. The battle pass weapons, the forgery weapons, a lot of free to play weapons that definitely can still do good damage for your DPS. But obviously 5-star weapons are a different breed, and the base attack on them is absolutely insane. So you can see on my attack, I do have a 3000 attack. My artifacts, my weapons, all my ascension all plays a part in that attack, and it is very high. But like I said, I run Mona at 1600. I run Albedo at 1200. Albedo's at 1200. It will be a little bit higher eventually, but for now it's at 1200. Clee's at 1900, but they still do good damage. They might not do like the big 100k damage consistently. They can probably get to there, but they still do good damage for me, right? So obviously you don't need the 5-star weapons all the time. You can still do good stuff with 4-star weapons, so don't always worry about the 5-star whale stuff. A lot of things in Genshin Impact, if built correctly, you can definitely still do good damage. Now I want to talk about team comps. Team comps are very important. So as you can see, the team I was running prior to the clip, I was running Kea, Sucrose, and Bennett. Obviously most of the time I'm not going to run them, it's just for the point of the video, but like I can still do good damage with D-Luke with, let's say, this team. For example, I can do Vaporize, I can do melt damage with Chi-Chi, Bennett's ultimate booster, and then D-Luke can still do very good damage. Team comps are very important with your team, and I will put up the picture on the video right now. It will show you all the elemental stuff, you know, like melt, vaporize, all that. So you want to take advantage of the elemental reactions into the game. It's very important to do elemental reaction to this game. I would say melt is the best in the game. So if you can do melt damage, you will do, I think it's 2 times multiplier. So it's a lot of damage. But I usually run vaporize damage instead of melt damage. I usually pair Mona and D-Luke together, and Bennett and D-Luke together, and they do hefty damage for my team. That's why Mona is one of my favorite characters in the game. I love her so much. But team comps are very important. So you want to look at that chart. You want to take advantage of the elemental reactions in the game and how you can incorporate that elemental reaction into your team comps, right? So you're running like, let's say 4 DPSs, not ideal, right? You don't want to do that. You want the support characters to help you do those elemental reaction damage, and then to also help you multiply your DPS damage, right? Team comps are very important. Also, looking at the elemental resonance, this is also very important. For example, Bennett and Diluc together increases attack by 25%, so that definitely plays a factor too. There's also different other stuff too you could run. I guess really Pyro is really the best. Trying to look at it, most of the other stuff is not the great. I mean, 2 ice, your crit rate is on frozen enemies are by 15%. So I mean, this is really cool too. 2 geos are pretty good too. So this is pretty good too to learn elemental resonance. But I would say elemental reaction is definitely you want to focus and how you want to build your team comp. For example, let's say if it's Kaching is my DPS, I want to run probably Bennett obviously, so I can get overload damage. I also want to run maybe even Cryo so I can do superconduct damage, right? Definitely very important to know and what to run on your team comps, right? So you want to build your DPS around the support. You know, the foundation of your team is the support characters to help your DPS do that DPS damage, right? So team comps are very important, and you know, you want to mess around with your team comps. Not always running 4 or 5 stars are not really ideal in this game unless it's obviously it works, right? But 4 stars in this game as support characters are very useful, and usually most of the 5 stars in the games are, in my opinion, more damage dealers than support. But like I said, I run Mona as my support, I run Ben as my support at 4 star, and honestly I say he's 5 star level with what he does, right? So very important to know what team comp you want to run and how you want to take advantage of the elemental reactions. Also, Anemo, very broken in this game. If you run the Verdicent Veneer on your Anemo characters like Venti and Sucrose, it is absolutely broken because the swirl damage, that stuff is broken. I promise you that stuff is broken. So let's say, obviously I kind of need Chi-Chi, right, to heal, but I can run Venti. What I would usually do is Venti ult and then use Bennett ultimate and then put Mona's E in there, and then I just put Diluc's damage in there and they're literally done. Like the enemies are destroyed. Swirl damage, Anemo damage combined with all the elemental reaction into that swirl is absolutely broken this game, so you definitely want to think about that. So hopefully in today's video that'll help you guys out, have a good idea on how you want to build your team and how you want to do more damage with the elemental reactions and all that elemental resonance and all that sort, and how to build a team around it and how to do more damage with your team. Team comps are very important to do damage. Obviously the characters are important, but team comp is just as important as the characters itself. I tried to do this as simple as possible. If you have any question, put a comment down below in the comments section. Hopefully this really did help you. I did try my best to put it in the most simplest way as I could. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy. Please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, hit that bell notification, notifies you whenever I put up a video, and that's gonna be it for me. Peace.